Hello and welcome back to KSP with Nitwit Gaming. Let's begin. Right, I'm hoping this works as intended. I'm going to really reduce the speed. I forgot to do that at the start, that might put us quite unstable for now. I'm going to really reduce the speed just to keep the speed quite low as we go up, because I think if the more I increase the speed, the more unstable it gets. So if I keep it quite nice and slow going up, and I think this is what they do with real rockets actually, they keep it so that it's just going up at a steady clip rather than really belting it. If I keep it quite low, and then as soon as I get high, I can increase the thrust. I'm not sure if this... I mean, I should start my gravity turn now, but I'm not sure I'll be able to control the rocket. Actually, these things have thrust vectoring, so maybe I will be able to. Yeah, I think I will start my gravity turn early. Hopefully, I can keep control of the rocket. I seem to be able... I seem to be keeping control of it just fine. We'll just slow down just a little bit, just to allow that a little bit more. Oh, maybe I'll speed up actually, because we're starting to going too horizontal right now. Yeah, so when using far, you want to keep your direction of thrust inside your direction of travel, inside that circle, just so that you don't, because if they differ too much, that's when you start flipping out. And that's obviously a bad thing. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to slowly lead it over to about this mark here, and that should mean we get a nice curved descent, just like that. This game is very beautiful, very beautiful. Pity you can't see very much because it's very dark. That's better. Right, let's keep that going. And we're gonna turn on the engines on full now, because we're out of the sticky part of the atmosphere. I'm going to pitch over a little bit more, and hopefully this should take us right out the atmosphere, like this, because we've still got enough thrust to get, this is just fine. Yeah, I think this will do. Good. Everything's going well. And I've done this sort of thing loads and loads of times, but I still make mistakes all the time. I still have to reset the game. So playing this as a career mode sort of thing, and playing this in a way that means that I can't just, quick save and quick load all the time, is actually quite interesting, because I never have to concentrate as much as I'm having to concentrate right now with you guys. So that's kind of fun actually. But yeah. So this is the way I build rockets. I just iterate on the same design, and then when I need a brand new design to travel to a new planet, I start again afresh, and I find that keeps the gameplay interesting, and yet sort of it allows me to build up these rocket families and stuff, which is quite fun. Now we're about to lose this engine. That's kind of distressing. I was hoping that would go for longer, but it should take us just to the tip of the atmosphere. There we go. Just want to get to 70,000. Ooh, that's just short. There we go. If we just get to 70,500 meters, like that, and we can just circularize here. So drag it out prograde, like that, and that shouldn't take too long. But notice, because these are much weaker engines, it's going to take much longer than it would normally for us to, or it has been taking us up till now, because I've been using more powerful engines before. Now I'm using quite weak, really, landing engines to do this. So they're not designed for taking off through atmospheres, but they'll get off the moon just fine. So I'll just start this up now, like that. And I will zoom in so we can see what's going on. And here, those beautiful engines. This looks a bit like something from Star Wars, like this. Anyway, I really need to start doing things on the light side of the planet. Everything's going fine right now. I'm sorry I keep saying that. It's just it's always a surprise when that's happening in KSP. That's our little successful flag down there, wherever it's gone now. There, successful. First successful landing on a Kerbal. Even though it wasn't that successful. That was the joke, Andrew. Shut up. Here we go. There we go. So now if we zoom out our, delete this maneuver node. Yep, we've got a circular orbit. So this is how you get to the moon. You see, the moon, if I recall correctly, travels that way around the planet. And what you want to do is you want to find the part of your orbit that is, no, I don't want to look at the flag. I want to make a maneuver. There we go. And you want to find one that's a little bit less than 90 degrees left of your of the moon. I'm going to set it as your target, obviously, and you just want to pull this out. There you go. And see, we've got an intercept. Now, what the thing is showing us is that we're going to speed straight past it. So I'm going to click on this, and this shows what's going to happen when you meet the planet, how close you're going to get, and what your orbit's going to be like. And we want to bring this part down as close as we dare to the surface. Now, I know the moon's surface is rather flat, so I can, that's going slightly too fast. So I can bring it down to about 16,000. I think that should be fine, so that I can circularize. In fact, actually, no. I'm gonna just for sake of building in a bit of redundancy, because I only get one shot at this. I'm gonna do it at 63,000. Then we'll circularize and go down. So we've got to wait for 16 minutes to burn for this this orbit. Although obviously we get to speed it up to 50 times. So I'm going to do that and pop back over to Kerbin and see our progress. So we're just going to zoom around to here, and then we're going to burn here. And at that point we're going to fly off and meet the moon. And a very quick meeting it will be. So I'm just going to bring us out of, faster speed, or whatever you want to call it, and align myself with this blue marker, which represents where my maneuver node is telling me to thrust. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop doing that. And we're going to go for it now. So we are pushing our orbit out to meet the moon. This is a burn that's going to take 1 minute and 3 seconds from now. No, I won't speed it up because rockets tend to go wrong if you speed them up in Kerbal Space Program. In the meantime, let's have a look around the Kerbin system. So, as you can see, the Minmus is much further out, but the reason why some people recommend on landing on it is because it's much smaller, and its gravity is far less. So it tends to, it's much easier to, land on and get off of. But I tend to like going to the moon first of all, because I think it's a greater challenge, and also we've got a mission to go to the moon and we don't have one to go to Minmus, so alright, we're nearly there in terms of the amount of burn that we've done. And as we fly away from Kerbin, I'm just going to get little Jebediah to do a little bit of science on the way out. But first, we're just going to right. You wanna do this bit very slowly with the smallest amount of thrust, just so that you get it right. Because otherwise, as you could see, that would have zoomed straight past it. Okay, so I'll talk about these things. These are very important, but not in the Kerbin system. They're very important for interplanetary rendezvous, but not for interlunar rendezvous. So we're going to talk about them later. So this point, as I said in the first episode, Kerbal Space Program does not simulate n-body physics. And n-body physics is the fact that any body... oh my god, I can't believe I just did that. But n-body physics means any number of gravity wells interact at any given time. And no, n-body doesn't stand for anybody. I just accidentally did that. That was a travesty of physics. I can't believe I never noticed that before. But anyway, when you're circling the real moon, when you're orbiting the real moon, you are still being affected by Earth's pull. Just in a the moon is pulling you more or affecting you more, and that's n-body physics. Is the fact that all bodies are interacting all the time. In Kerbal Space Program, because that requires an awful lot of computing power to get right. Instead, it's only single body physics. You orbit the moon, or you orbit Kerbin, or you orbit the sun, or you orbit another planet. You don't orbit two things at once. You don't get affected by more than one gravity well at once. So so here, this point, this moon encounter, is when we transfer from the gravity well of Kerbin to the gravity well of the moon, and it's basically when the moon's gravity well starts to overpower Kerbin's, and we become more affected by it. So we're going to speed up time now, just so that we can get to this thing in 5 hours. In fact, I'm going to put a little marker there, and what I do is I keep an eye on that number down there so that I can know when to come out of warp, as it were. Oh, and just before we get there, I'm going to get Jebediah to do a little EVA report from deep, high space above Kerbin. Get back in. We're not going to use the mystery goo because I need the mystery goo in order to I'm going to send this data. I need the mystery. Oh, no comms devices. Oh, I forgot all about them. Oh, fiddlesticks. I need the mystery goo to be my receptacle for science from the moon. So let me just find. There we go. Need to keep an eye on power or electric charge, because if that runs out, we're dead in the water. And I don't want that. Oops, I accidentally thrusted a little bit. That was bad. I shouldn't have done that. But it seems to have done us no harm. Now I'm just going to warp through. I'm going to get rid of this because we don't really need it. I'll warp through. Some people recommend slowing down before you hit one of these encounters because it screws with the system if you don't, but they seem to have fixed that recently, so I don't really mind thrusting through them. Oh, not thrusting, warping through them. We're going to circularize here. We don't really need to circularize. Some people recommend not doing it, in fact, because you can just zoom straight to where you want to land, but I need to, because I need to make sure for you guys that I land on the light side, and also for my own sanity, because landing on the dark side is a nightmare without lights. I need to do it in the light side so that you guys can see what I'm doing, and so that I can see what I'm doing. Now we're just gonna. Ooh, oh dear. Okay, that's what happens when you use that too, enthusiastically. Ooh, this might be quite tight. So what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure about this actually. What I'm gonna do, I think. That happens in 3 hours. That happens in 1 day. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reduce that just a little more. Well, that was bad. See, that's what happens if you don't pay attention. And that might have done some damage here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore what I told you to do before, which is to always thrust up here, because I want to have a nice smooth income on the light side of the moon, like that. And I just want to increase that just a little bit, so I just skim the terrain like that, and you'll see all will become clear as to what I'm doing, hopefully, if I survive. Because I think we have more than enough delta V to get us to the moon and hopefully home again. If we don't have enough time to get us home, that's bad, but it's not disastrous, because we can always send a rescue mission, even though that should not be your first port of call. So we're going to get up to this point, and we're going to get up there, and then we're going to thrust to bring our orbit down so that we're going to land, or at least smack into the moon if we don't do anything about it. Just like this. Get rid of that. Just like this, and we want it about there. And now I'm not going to quick save, because that encourages me to be a bit more reckless than I normally. Oh god! Oh. So that's one benefit of the fast zoomy thing, the warp thing, is that sometimes you can get away with what would normally be a smack into a planet if you fast forward through it. But that was bad. Shouldn't have done that. Right. So now we're coming in for our second circle of the moon. I am going to do some quick science on the way down, because that will satisfy the requirements of the mission. I'm going to click on this crew thing when I can. Crew report. Yeah, overwrite the existing crew report. This one's more valuable. And I want want him to get out and, no, not to take the data, but to get a EVA report and get back in. And now we're going to get ready to just thrust retrograde and land on the moon. Now, we don't have an incredibly large amount of... Well, actually, no, we have a fair amount of delta V left. I think this is more than enough. I think if I can't pull this off with this amount, then I'm not doing it right. So, let's have a look at the map view and just see where we're going to be coming in lowest. So, this is good. We're coming down on the equator, which means it's easier to take off and get back to Kerbin, although that's not too much of a problem anyway. We're going to come in not in the bottom of a crater, which is bad because I would prefer to come in at the bottom of a crater. It tends to be flatter. But regardless, we're going to wait until we get quite low, down to about 6,000 meters, and then I'm going to start just thrusting like this. The reason why I'm going to do this is because I don't want to thrust exactly horizontal, because then I would lose all my horizontal speed, but I would still be going down. And I want to make sure that I'm going up slightly so that I don't smack into the ground too soon and I have enough time to finish this maneuver. So you can actually see our apoapsis height is actually going up because I'm doing this. Now I'm going to stop. And now we've got this little arc. And this is a wasteful way of doing it, but I have loads and loads of fuel to spare, or at least I hope I do. So, so it shouldn't matter too much. We're going to go up a little bit just so that we have enough time to... consider where we're going to land. Now, I think we might come down in that crater over there, which is a good thing. Yes, we will. That's a good thing because that gives me, that means that it's probably going to be more flat in here. So now I'm going to start thrusting exactly horizontal, maybe a little bit down, just because we seem to be going down at quite a pace. Ah, now we need to drop those two. Oops. Nothing blew up? No, nothing blew up. Good. Yep, and now we're going to thrust, and we want to move this retrograde icon so it's at the very top by sort of chasing it with our marker. This is the game I play with myself. Wait, what? No, this is the game I play whenever I need to land on anything, and you just chase this up to the top. And when it's right at the top, you're going straight down, so your landing will be much easier. And talking of which, I'm just going to lower them. So now your landing will be much easier because you're going straight down. You don't want to land at an angle. You do not want to come in at an angle and try and land like that because you will flip your craft. Now you just want to reduce your speed to about less than, I would say, 10 meters per second. I personally prefer something more like 5 or less. But 10 meters per second will do you. You might bounce and die, but, you know, that's occupational hazard. So, and now I just sort of reduce the thrust until we've got a nice, even speed incoming like that. And now we should be able to just land perfectly like this. And you might need to dance your rocket around to try and land properly, but that should give you a nice beautiful slow descent, so slow in fact that I really want to speed it up, but yeah, so that's how an easy way of landing on the moon, and it's and personally I find it a good way of thinking about the nav ball and I'm just going to increase my thrust slightly here and then go like that and hope that this doesn't fall over. I'm going to give it a little bit of welly. There we go. Okay. It's vital, absolutely vital, that your rocket does not fall over. So if it looks like it's going to fall over, it is better to actually take back off than to let it fall over. It is vital that it does not fall over because you will never get it up again, except on minimus, perhaps. So you want to land as softly as possible and as straight as possible. It's very, very important. Like that. Like that. There we go. That's a better landing. So see, that's actually quite a good thing because it showed you, one, how badly I react to stress, and also how to recover what is going to be a terrible landing. Now I'm going to do all the science on here. There we go. The fine dust of the moon has intermixed with some of the samples. You have a sneaking suspicion that they'll never be able to get the lab clean again. Amen. We're going to, he's going to EVA, like this, and just sort of drop, because why not? He's a Kerbal, they're on the moon, it's fine. I really like the effects that happen on this visor thanks to the mods I've got installed. Anyway, we're going to plant a flag to commemorate this great moment when we've landed on the moon. Oh, let's, can I get a photo of that? Yeah, screenshot. I don't know. I'm going to call this the Jebediah crater. No, crater of Jeb. Yeah, I'm not going to do plaque text because frankly, no one's going to read them again. So we're going to do an EVA report. You start to say something dramatic and poignant about the plight of Kerbal kind in this grand universe, only to be cut off by random radio chatter that the situation is nominal. Yep, that sounds about appropriate. And I'm going to take a surface sample. The patterning of this surface sample is particularly interesting. Good, right. Now, I think I've gone enough, and this is his little jetpack, by the way, which I'm very bad at using these days because I've kind of forgotten what that space does not make you go up, it shift. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyway, right. I'm going to leave the game here and end this episode here, guys, because I think it'll take us a little bit of time to get back to the Earth, or the Kerbin, and I don't really want this episode to go too long. But thank you very much for watching. If you have any tips or questions about Kerbal Space Program, I feel that I'm not bad at the game. I mean, my present performance aside, and I could probably answer them for you. But if you have any comments, questions, or anything, leave them below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching again, and see you soon, guys.